One of the sheep is stuck underneath a branch. Doesn't quite know how to get out. But also using it as a scratching post. Are you stuck? Are you stuck? What is going on? Would you like some help? Here. There you go. Is that better? Hey, sweetie. Hi, dear. Hey. No, you're so sweet. Yes, you are. Alright, I am down in the crawl space slash basement slash whatever this is called. I'm under the house and I'm directly underneath the kitchen right now. What I'm doing is going through my punch list of things to do to get ready for drywall. One of the items I need to do is get a bump off the floor. The floor isn't quite level, it kind of bumps up in one spot. And I measured it 5 feet from the wall between the library and the kitchen, which is where this beam is going to be certain. Yep, 5 feet. And 9 feet from the exterior wall, which is about right where this hot water heater is. So it's going to be between these two floor jacks here. So I'm going to lower these slightly. I'm pretty certain it is this floor joist right here, which is right in the center between these two floor jacks. So I'm going to lower those just a little bit. The reason I'm doing it now, even though I have 30 days to be ready for drywall, is it takes some time for the floor to kind of settle. You do small increments of leveling. You don't do it all at once. You want to do it 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. That's probably pushing it at a time, and let it settle for a week and then keep doing that. And I've already done one checklist item today. I'll show you that when I'm done with these here. These things are relatively easy to adjust. You simply screw the this threaded piece here either up or down to adjust the height. So we got a pretty good solid connection there. So I need to hold this piece down here so it doesn't spin, and then take my crescent wrench and adjust it here. Ouch, ouch. And don't pinch your fingers. Not a smart thing to do. Let's see, I should be able to just come down ever so slightly. Okay. Alright, we'll let that settle and probably do the same thing to this one. Nathan, John. Okay, how's this one feeling? This one's still feeling pretty loose. You can hear it. So I'm not going to adjust this one down because there's not enough downforce on it yet to give it pressure. So there's no point in lowering it even more. Alright, let me show you what I've already done this morning. Sorry for the let me show you what I've already done this morning, and we'll get on to some more of the checklist items. Alright, one of the other things I did this morning was I took this Romex wire here. This was going into the kitchen upstairs, and I was using it as power source for circuit number 2 on the outlets in the kitchen. Well, I told you last episode, or maybe 2 episodes ago, that I found a new source for power to circuit number 2 of the outlets. So I'm going to repurpose this one to power the dishwasher, which is going to go just about right in this area here. And so I can just run that wire over and up into the dishwasher. So that'll be perfect. So that was on the checklist, and now that is done. So the dehumidifiers, which are turned off right now, they've been running 24/7, and they've been doing a great job on drying out the floor, all the soil in here. You can see right here, that's wet, and also over here, this is wet. So water is protruding water's coming in from the west side of the property, and I think I figured out why. We had some gutters that were not draining properly, and just overflowing in heavy rains and just coming down the side of the house and ultimately coming into the ground and finding ways into the basement here. Yesterday, Katie and I worked on the gutters and we got all those cleared out, so things are draining away from the house like they should from the gutter spouts. So now we shouldn't get any more water coming in from the west side of the property. So that will dry out, and over here, this will dry out because the dehumidifiers will eventually dry them out. But that was kind of a bummer to see that, but I'm glad I caught it before I finalized all of the encapsulation down here, because once I put the plastic on the floor, I would have never noticed that. So I'm glad that that's taken care of. All right, so in the hallway here, there's 3 framing issues I need to take care of just so drywall looks better and is able to be fastened correctly. So this one stud right here is twisted. It's a warped stud, so I'm going to replace that, straighten that out. Above the doorway here, you can see that there's a gap between the top plate and the ceiling, and that's because I measured it too short, obviously. And I need to, it's not a 2x4 thickness, it's a little bit less, so I need to cut down a 2x4 and stuff it in there, nail it in, so that way the drywall can be properly secured up there with the drywall screws. And then the last thing to do is actually here in the bedroom, where this wall is, this is where the barn door is going to go for this bedroom. There's an awkward corner right here where this wall doesn't meet up flushly with the stud here, and so there's nothing to attach the drywall to right here. There's no anchor point. So I need to put a 2x4 back here, so that way there's a nice surface for the drywall to connect to here in the corner. So let's get those things done. Check for 16 on center. Okay, we're good. Good. Okay. All right, that looks a lot better. Come on up. Let's... I got myself some sensitive ears, so I always put in earplugs. There we go. There we go. I'm loosening here in the corner, so it takes this edge right here and makes it flush, and then I'll retighten these in the corner, and we should be good. There we go. There we go. Tighten this one. Sweet. All right, that worked. Let's see here. This is 1 inch gap there. That's half-inch gap there. So, okay, what I decided to do is next time I'm at Lowe's, I'm just going to buy a 1x4 furring strip, cut it to length, shove it in there, call it good. So, let's move on to the next thing. So this gap in the subfloor is because there used to be a wall right here. Not sure why they did it this way, but they did. You can see the studs that I cut. So this is 39 inches wide, and the depth is 5/8 inches. So I think what I'm going to try to do, cut a 2x4, 39.5 inches wide, or long, excuse me, and then I'm going to rip it down to 5/8 inch depth and be able to just to lay it here, screw it in, and should fill this gap. I'm going to give that a try. If that works, I may end up trying to do the same thing, ripping a 2x4 for above the door in the bedroom that I was just working on, instead of buying the 1 inch furring strip. Okay, let's give this a try. Got the table saw out. Here's the 39 inch length of 2x4. I raised the blade all the way, and I don't know if it's going to pierce all the way through the top of this 2x4. There's going to be like a 1/16 of an inch sliver if it doesn't go all the way through. So I'm going to measure 5/8 inches from the guard here to the edge of the blade, the inside edge of the blade. I took a piece of 2x4, I laid it down on the ground, and I marked the thickness there. Pretty certain that is 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. All right, powered by the Blue Eddy. That blade is way too dull. I don't think these are going to be right. I think I cut it too thin. That's slightly too thin. It's like a 1/16 or so of an inch too thin. Shoot. And this one's going to be too thick. Yeah, that's too thick. Ah, man. And I'm not going to try that again because my blade is way too dull to be cutting that again. Yeah, that's a bummer. I decided to try it again. Let's see if this one fits any better. It's good there. It's a little high right there, but I think I can probably sand it down to match. Alright, I'm going to use that. I'll just sand it down to make it smooth. This time, when I cut it, I lowered the saw blade halfway down since I was having to turn around, or cut twice anyway. Cut once and then turn it around and cut again. So that made the cut a lot easier. Didn't struggle so much. It's still a dull blade, but it worked. So I'm going to put this in. I think I'll pre-drill it, screw it down, and then I'll get some sandpaper and sand this smooth. But I think that'll work pretty well. A little bit lower, so when I sand, I'm not going to sand the top of the screws. Alright, now I'm going to drill the rest and then screw in the rest. I just wanted to get those in place so this board wouldn't move. Cracked right there. Alright, well, I just need to sand that and that'll be good. Look, 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 look. Can you guys guess what these are? So, the wild is calling, 41.36, and
Squirrel!
squirrel head. Squirrel brain, right?
Squirrel brain.
Yeah, squirrel brain. Any guesses? Comments below. Push pause if you're not ready, because we're going to reveal it. 1, 2, 3. Hoorah! That's right. So Mel and Gary over at Simple Life Reclaimed gave us these 2 t-shirts. Thank you guys very much. So we're sporting our Simple Life Reclaimed shirts right now. Pretty cool.
Could we be any more cheesy?
Uh-huh.